the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Ask Elaine, better ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, better ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, better ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, better ask Elaine.
Well, well, well. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's wonderful to have you there with us, either on AM, FM, uh, Facebook Live, whatever means you've decided or you've chosen to join us today. We just welcome you. As always, you know that we're happy to have you there. We look forward to having messages very shortly from those folks who always join us on WDDO Live. And if you don't mind, if you're on with us, please hit share to let everybody know that it's time for your weekly news and information. Rhonda Bird, the president of the Drive Time Club, is here, and I'm sure there are many, many others. Those of you who join us by radio on 980 AM or FM 107.9, if y'all don't mind, y'all need to really be over here on the Glory Live because you'll be able to see who the guests are. You can share information, questions, or whatever. We're just really, really happy, and we'd like to know who it is that's tuning in. You might have a question or a comment that you'd like to make. But welcome to Ask Elaine. It's Wednesday, it's 3 p.m. And this is your voice, Commissioner Elaine Lucas. And I am just honored that you've decided to allow me to represent you for all these years. It's been an honor for me. It's been an honor for Senator Lucas to represent you. It's going on about 50 years for him. So he was first elected in 1974. So, and he's still productive. And I hope that you think that we share with you what you need to know and that you know that we will go to bat for you whenever it's necessary. So, um, good afternoon to Maria Bryant with the NAACP. And Maria, I wish that you would call us because we're here with Water Board Chair candidate Desmond Brown. I announced a few days ago that I would be supporting him for the Water Board Chairman's position. The other candidate is a Republican, makes no secret of it. We all know that he is a Republican and stands with the Republicans. I've never heard him repudiate any of the low down dirty stuff that the Republicans have put out there. And so I'm assuming that he supports all that since he's very proud to. Now, this race that Desmond is a candidate in is a runoff. The actual election will be June 21st, but this coming Monday,
June 13th.
you will be able to begin voting early.
That's correct.
We would love to help you, provide a ride if you need it. There's some people that vote every time, but I'm afraid there are a lot of people who don't know that there's a runoff election, and not only a local race, but we also have some statewide races where we decide among the Democrats, and then there's some runoff races over on the Republican side. But I know that if you're a thinking person, you're a smart person, you're one who believes in what's right, I know you wouldn't be voting Republican. I know, or otherwise, there's something wrong with you. There's really, you got a real serious problem if you vote Republican. If you're black, if you're poor white, if you're a humanitarian, you got a problem if you vote for somebody that wants to cut off your Social Security and your Medicaid, doesn't want you to get insurance, low cost, affordable insurance, somebody who wants to keep half of a third of the state's population and another third of it that's brown
That's
or
right.
whatever, from voting. Um, you want to vote for somebody who supports a Herschel Walker, who can't even remember whether he graduated from college or not. I mean, seriously, folks, we got to be better than this. So, anyway, I was talking about the Democratic ballot, the sample ballot. We will have copies of that sample ballot in our office in the next couple of days, and you are welcome to come by and pick up one. If you would like us to email one to you, all you have to do is call EL High School Academy or call my personal phone, and you should have that. I'll put it in the chat in just a few minutes. But call and I will give me your email address, and I will email a sample ballot to you so that you will know who is running in the runoff election. You got runoff not only in the local water board chair's position, but we also have one in the Secretary of State's office. We have one in the Insurance Commissioner's office, and there's several others. But we will have those on that sample ballot for you, and you just zip in. Maria states that early voting starts June the 13th through the 17th. We just have 1 week, Desmond, of early voting. That's what that new law allows. Before, you would have 3 weeks of early voting. Now you've got 1 week of early voting. So there are attempts to keep you from voting. But I know you. When folks say, I'm going to stop you from doing that, you say, you just keep on trying. Right. You go try to stop me. I know the folks that listen in to Ask Elaine. They're no nonsense people. They are folks who will go and spread the word that voting is important. And this runoff election is one where the thought is, well, they're not going to go back. Hey, Ricky Crawford, he's joined us. We also want, of course, to welcome Maria Rhonda Bird. I believe we mentioned her before, but all of the gang's all here. If you're listening on AM, FM, or if you're here with us on DDO Facebook Live, we welcome you, and we are going to share this first segment. We're going to talk with our endorsed candidate here, Mr. Desmond Brown, who, as far as I know, has been a voting Democrat.
That's correct.
From the time that he registered to vote.
That's correct.
Not a Republican. No, I tell you, I'm going to say it again. I would not be a Republican. No, I would not be the kind of person who sees 18 babies just slaughtered, and then several teachers, and then I can't even pass a bill. I can't even support a bill that says we need a background check before somebody can buy a weapon. An assault rifle. I would not be a Republican, and endorse the theory that the history that needs to be taught in school is a washed out history that says slavery didn't happen. The slaves were on the plantation smiling and grinning and happy. They were so happy to be slaves. That's the version that the Republicans want to be taught in school. And if they feel uncomfortable, if they don't like it, then they are then trying to ban it from the books, from the schools. And in some places, they've already started it in Texas, in Florida. So we've got a lot of stuff. I wouldn't be a Republican. I wouldn't vote for a Republican. I just wouldn't. Rhonda says, "Amen, amen," because there's so many reasons not to be a Republican. Um, Anyway, Maria, if you will call us, we're going to share this voting information. That early voting starts at the Macon Bibb Board of Elections. There will only be one early voting site, and that is the Macon Bibb Board of Elections on Pine Avenue, 2525. But there's plenty of room. They'll have plenty of machines. Uh, if you're senior citizen, or disabled or whatever, you will go to the head of the line when you go to vote early. Now, if you receive your absentee ballot in the mail, if you request it to get every one of your ballots sent to you for this election year, you will receive yours. If you need some assistance, don't just try and do it and muddle through it. Don't do that. There are some of us who are available to assist you, and we will be glad to do that. Maria, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Hey, Maria,
How you doing?
Miss Voting Lady,
I
Voting
I
Lady.
just
Maria, welcome to Ask Elaine. Thank you so much for your loyalty, for your support, for the work that you do in so many different areas in this community. She is Miss Dependable. I have with me as our special guest this week, Mr. Desmond Brown. And I know the NAACP is nonpartisan, but I tell people all the time, I am not nonpartisan. I am very partisan Democrat. Desmond Brown is the Democrat. That's who I'm voting for, and that's who's on Ask Elaine today. And I'm asking everybody else whether they can say it on air or not to vote for him. But for a few minutes before we interview Desmond, I want you to tell us about the voting. Any information that you want to share with us about the runoff election where early voting starts Monday.
early voting starts Monday, June the 13th, and it ends on the 17th. You only have 1 week of early voting. So we're
Hmm.
asking everybody to be at the board. The vote early voting is 8:30 to 5:30 each day. So you all be there at 8:30 Monday morning, so you can get out and early vote. And it's
Just like
only a
people
one
were
location.
lined up, Maria. Just like people
Line
were
up at
lined
8:30.
up for what was the latest thing we were all lined up for? One time there was free hair that they were giving away down at the 99-cent store. People were wrapped around the building to get
Right.
that bag of free hair. When the newest tennis shoe or the newest phone comes out, people are lined up down the street and around the building to get the
So
newest.
Monday morning, we want you to wrap around that building beginning at
Mhm.
8:30, so you can early vote.
Uh huh. Uh
You
huh.
don't have to wait. Election day is June the 21st, and just remember, on election day, you will have to go to your voting precinct.
Right.
So
Right.
please double check on the my voter page. Look for your where you're supposed to vote, because you cannot do a provisional ballot before 5 o'clock.
Right.
So if you go
That
to the wrong
is
polling place, they will not
right.
let you vote. So
Right.
you can't. So just remember, go ahead now and start looking for where you're supposed to vote. So when you get
Right.
ready, if you don't vote during early voting on election day, you'll know where to go.
And if there is a problem, if you're unsure about anything, you can call me, you can call Maria. We are available. Maria, list your number, please. And
It's four.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Call our NAACP number is 478-745-9944.
Okay,
And
What
if
we'll
about
be
you would
manning the
please
phone.
put that, if you would
Four
please put
seven
that in
eight.
the chat too.
It's I'll put it in the chat
Type it,
also. It's
type it
four
in.
seven
Yeah.
eight 745-9944. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
no
Okay.
Saturday voting
That's
commission?
great. Maria, did they cut out that Saturday voting day?
There's no Saturday voting
No,
or
no,
early
it's
voting.
Wow.
They
just
won't have Saturday
Monday
voting
through
again
Friday.
until November.
Right, right. I
There will
thought,
be Saturday voting in November,
right.
but not for this election. You only have 1 week. Just remember, people, you only have 1 week, June the
Yeah.
13th through the 17th, and the election is on June 21st. So we're asking as many people to go out and early vote as possible.
Okay. That's the least that we all can do. Maria, thank you so much. And after this runoff election is over, we're going to pull together as many people as we can and try and get all of the churches, all of the fraternities, sororities, Masonic organizations, get all of them together, and so that they will designate, if they don't already have someone designated. I know we, with Macon Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, have a social action committee that is very, very much involved in in a nonpartisan way to get people out to vote. So, all of these different organizations, we want to see a social and political action committee in every church. Everybody has that sister and that brother that the pastor designates to call everybody
That's
to
correct.
get that money
Right.
That's correct.
to for pastor's anniversary. Y'all pastors don't be mad at me because y'all know y'all have folks. Y'all know y'all have a special committee
That's
of loyal folks, and everybody should have. That's the way it works. But you have people who are dependable, who like doing it, who have the time to call everybody up and let them know what's going on. You also have emails that you send out to all your members.
that's correct.
You also have calling posts. So, in addition to putting down when revival will be or when a particular Sunday, the Children's Sunday or whatever it is, Youth Sunday we had last couple of weeks ago at our church at Stewart Chapel. In addition to putting all of that information down, put down the information as to who to contact in the church, in the sorority, in the fraternity, in the Masonic, the Eastern Stars, the Shriners, whomever it is, social and savings clubs, the motorcycle clubs. Yeah, y'all motorcycle riders, ladies and men.
That's right.
Y'all need, it's cool. It's a fad to
Yes.
vote now.
Yes, it
So
is.
y'all please do it. But designate someone who will be responsible for generating the vote, not just to get in touch with folks when you want them to give something or buy an ad or whatever. Get in touch with them about saving their lives because these people want us to go back.
Yes.
And Herschel Walker and Vernon Jones, these are black folks who have hooked up with the Republicans to help them to take us back. And now it's the funny thing, they think that if we go back, they won't go back.
They still black.
They think they won't. They think they
They st-
Herschel thinks he'll still be able to beat white women and get away
no,
with it.
ma'am.
They're not going.
No, ma'am.
No,
No,
you
ma'am.
going back to Herschel,
No, ma'am.
you and Vernon and all the rest of you. But seriously, voting is something that is being taken away from us. We cannot let it happen
No, ma'am.
that way. And so we have got to vote. Books in the ballot. Get your education and make sure that you are registered to vote and make sure that you vote. And you can just about lock up. your rights for the future and the rights of all those that you get to register and to get their books. So we just want to encourage that. We want to thank our sponsors too. While I'm thinking about it, Black Voters Matter is one of our major sponsors. They're a non-partisan organization that works to make sure that people get out to vote. And even though they help to sponsor this program, um, they understand that I am partisan, that the information that people get on here is intended to assist them in getting uh, and maintaining their rights to vote and to be represented at every level, local, state, and nationally. And so that's what we're all about. But thank you all for all of your support and for you being there with us today on AM, FM, or here Facebook Live. Thank you, Maria, for your information and for your commitment to the community.
And Commissioner, the
Yes, yes, ma'am.
NAACP will be at the Juneteenth passing out sample ballots.
Right. We will be the Black Voters Matter and other organizations, the Bibb County Voters League, will be at Juneteenth as well. We will be also passing out information from the Macon Bibb Health Department, where I serve you. And we will have hand sanitizer, masks, information on other health services. We'll also have information at Juneteenth on EL High School Academy, where on the 21st, we will graduate 20 to 25 students with their high school diploma. And next week, we're going to call out the names and salute those who will be receiving their high school diploma. It makes such a difference. You're talking about $500,000 more of monies that you make over your lifetime of work if you have your high school diploma as opposed to not having it. So, you want to get your high school diploma. If you want it, you got to work now. You can't just come in and say, "Here's my money. I want my." It doesn't work that way. You work, you earn your remaining credits, and you receive your diploma from our accredited school. We are accredited with quality, which means that the Georgia Accrediting Commission said that you have fulfilled all the requirements for um, assisting students in getting their high school diploma and then issuing a diploma to those students. We've been really happy to receive word that we've had a number of students who every year have graduated. Hey, Sherry Shannon Miller, who's on our board of advisors for EL High School Academy, she will be joining us and assisting us with graduation on June the 25th at Historic Stewart Chapel, AME Church. And Pastor Franklin is allowing us to utilize that church. It's historic church. It's my church, and it has plenty of space. And so you will want to join us in celebrating these 20 or 25 students with their will receive their high school diploma in full regalia. Full regalia. Mr. Brown, you're invited to be there with us as well. All right, Maria is reminding us to join Make and Bib NAACP. Adult membership is $30. Youth is $10. Some of us are sponsoring some of the youth membership. So if you really, really want to join the youth NAACP and you don't have your $10 membership fee, go ahead and join, and they will let some of us know, and we will be glad to sponsor you to get you involved as a young person with ensuring that your rights are protected, because that's who's going to have to do it. All right. So we have all of that information. Maria, is there anything else that we need to know as far as voting, or did she leave us?
I was hoping she would talk about the purging side of it, how people
Yeah,
they don't.
well, let's talk about
Okay.
that. As all of you know, those who are just joining us, you have tuned in to Ask Elaine. This is your voice, Commissioner Elaine Lucas, welcoming you once again to the program. Thank you so much for being there because you get smarter,
Yes.
hopefully, each week because we try to share something to help you in this. This is a real battle
Yes, it
that we're
is.
having to fight to maintain our own right to citizenship. And good afternoon to Kimberly Gray Harmon, who has joined us. Welcome to Ask Elaine. But
I'm
our
back. I'm
special
sorry.
Maria,
This
Okay,
is
good.
Maria.
Maria, was there anything else that we needed to that you needed to share concerning the elections?
Well, just make sure everybody check their my voter page to make sure that they are registered in the system. Because if you have not voted in a while, you will have been purged from the system.
I
Right,
see.
right, right. And
So,
that's
so they
like
need to check the my voter page.
right. And if you have some concerns about how to do that, call me, call Maria. Maria has posted the number for the NAACP on there. Most of you have my number already. If not, just Google Make a Bid Commission and Google the commissioners, and my numbers are right there. So call me, and we'll be glad to assist you in any way possible. You can assist a bunch of people in making sure. And there's some people who always vote.
Vote.
They
Right.
always vote. And so we will be just more than happy to assist. Our special
And
guest, go ahead,
we're
Maria.
just reminding everybody when you vote, please vote the entire ticket.
Yes, vote in every one of the races. A lot of
Right,
times,
right.
a lot of people just think that the presidential election is the only one, or the governor's race is the only one. You need to vote in every race. On this um, runoff election, you will have two candidates in each one of those races. You'll vote for one. In November, you will have a Democrat and a Republican, possibly an independent in some of those. And then you will vote for one in each one of those races. So just be sure to exercise your right to vote. Thank you, Maria.
Oh, you're welcome.
Very, very much. Now, back to our special guest, who is none other than Mr. Desmond Brown, who is in a runoff for Macon Water Authority Chair.
Yes, sir.
That is a specific position. It is to be voted on by everybody.
Countywide race.
It's a countywide race. You can vote whether you voted or not the last time. So those of you who were had some I'm not going to say that. Those of you who had other things that you were doing on the last election, you can vote in this one. So if you were supportive of Mr. Brown and you just said, "Dang, I forgot. I could have," you could have made the difference. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
let's make sure that you, beginning Monday, you go early to Pinona Avenue. Go ahead and vote from 8:30 to 5:30. That's the only location for early voting this time, and it's only 1 week. It's only 1 week. And
Yes.
someone please post that in the chat that this, I think Maria already did, that it's only 1 week of early voting. And then after that, you'll have to go to your neighborhood polling place. So why wait?
That's right.
Go on to the Board of Elections and vote there, and you've got it done. But we have the sample ballots that will be distributing in the next few days. So if you wish to have one, you please get in touch with us. We want to say hello to Steve Bryant, who is calling from Alexandria, Virginia. I understand
Hey,
he is
Steve.
a native Maconite who lives in Virginia, and he tunes in to Ask Elaine most weeks. And we want to say hello to all those who have tuned in on AM, FM, on Facebook Live. We really love having this interaction between people here on Facebook Live. And our special guest today is none other than Mr. Desmond Brown. And as I've said, he is a candidate for chair of the Macon Water Authority. The other candidate, as I've said before, is a Republican. I am not voting for Republicans, and you should not either. They're the party of folks who don't want to enact any kind of restrictions on folks getting guns, that murder innocent children, that go into a grocery store, and because the folks in there are black, you just mow them down. You just kill them because they're black. You just go in and you kill those children. I don't know what the reason was. That's the Republican Party. Not a single one has said anything. And I haven't heard any of them locally.
Mm.
Those rednecks and racists who wrote me all of those old nasty notes when I expressed my opposition to Trump and some other folks, those folks wrote me some nasty old stuff. I'd like for you to write some nasty stuff about the murderers who buy these guns and go out and just slaughter people. I want you to say something about these folks who are racist who went up into that grocery store and mowed down black folks because they were black, shopping, buying groceries. I would not vote for a Republican now. I just can't do it, y'all. I can't do it. And so Mr. Brown is a Democrat. This is a nonpartisan race.
Yes,
That
ma'am.
means when you qualify, you don't have to say whether you're a Democrat or Republican. And that's how a lot of Republicans have sneaked into office.
Right.
Good afternoon, Overseer Mabel Randall. She has joined us along with the others. Thank you so much for joining us and for being a light in this community. And we're talking voting. We also are talking with none other than Desmond Brown, who is the candidate that I'm going to support, that I am voting
Thank you.
for, and I'm encouraging everybody
Thank you
else
all.
to vote for him. He is a Democrat, a loyal Democrat. We can check your record.
And it
you
matters.
know that.
And
you
it
know
matters.
that.
Yes, ma'am. People were asking me,
Uh,
just because it's nonpartisan, what is your political affiliation? And I had to tell them Democrat.
Right,
I
right.
did.
And I want to know.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to know. That's how Republicans sneak into office and ban books and take over school
Yes.
boards and tell you that you can't have a book unless that book says that the slaves were happy to be enslaved and beaten up and working all day for free and
ma'am.
building cities and buildings like our city hall and other places in there. Unless the book says that we were happy with this and that the white folks didn't do anything to us, they don't want that book. They unless it says that, they don't want that book. So anyway, that's Republicans. I'm not voting for them. I'm not voting for Herschel Walker. I wouldn't vote for him if he were made of solid gold. Anything solid gold. No. If you don't know whether you graduated from college or not,
Yes, ma'am.
that joker says, I graduated from college and I was in the upper, what was it, 1% of his class. That joker didn't even graduate. You remember that? He played football, got hit on the head too many times, too many concussions. That's his problem. That's why he's a Republican. We'll just say that. Okay. But anyway, Desmond, I'm going to let you tell us why we should support you for water board chair.
Well, first, let me say thank you, Commissioner Lewis,
Oh, you're
for
welcome.
the invite. I am so humble for the invitation to be here. And to all of you out there in Radio Land, thank you all who supported me and voted for me. I am Desmond D. Brown, your candidate for the Make It Water Authority chairman seat. And why you should vote for me? Because I have experience in stormwater. I am the past vice chair of the engineer committee last year that sat on the Make It Water Authority board. So I was there. I seen inside what is going on when the phone calls come in. Not my opponent who was appointed and pretty much I don't know what all he done while he was there because when he was there, there are still issues from then that we're dealing with now, Commissioner
Right.
Lucas.
He didn't care.
It is, and it's sad,
He
you
didn't
know.
care. Republicans
you
don't
have
care.
to care.
They don't care.
You have to care. I have a strong platform. I've been running on the tagline hashtag the whistleblower, and it was brought
What's
to
that all about? A lot of people don't
Oh yeah,
understand what
oh
a
man.
whistleblower is.
Well,
A lot of
yes,
whistleblowers are
ma'am.
coming out against
You-
Trump.
you-
You come out and you tell the truth.
A whistleblower is a champion for the people, not a snitch. We don't deal with snitches. A whistleblower is rewarded for telling the truth, Commissioner, that is going to benefit the public. It
Mhm.
only applies to the public. If you work for Coca-Cola and you blow the whistle on Coca-Cola because you all are not putting the right carbonated water in our soft drinks,
Mhm.
well, you're protected as a whistleblower. If you work for the government and you blow the whistle on, hey, you know what? You all been getting Social Security check, but we should have been giving you XYZ amount of money. That's a
Mhm.
whistleblower.
Mhm.
Not if the pastor invite me over to his house and he and his wife pull out a nice bottle of Chardonnay. I don't supposed to come out and tell y'all that. That's snitching.
Uh,
So why you should vote for Desmond Brown is because I have a proven track record, although it's just been since last year,
mhm.
that when you call Desmond Brown, I show up. And I have a vision for the Make It Water Authority. We need to. I'm the only candidate, Commissioner Lucas, that had a summer youth program called Get Excited About Water. Right now, in our community, especially the Black community, they need to know that you do not need a college degree to make six-figure income in the water industry. That's right. A class one operator can get certified right here in Georgia and I mean, just hearing Stacey Abrams talk about the rural need for clean
Mhm.
water, you
Mhm.
will be set for life. That's what I want to bring to our community. How you is yes, we have the best tasting water, but we
Mhm.
won't have it much longer if we don't get enough people excited about working in the water industry.
Right.
We, back then as a board, we have outsourced too much of the responsibility to contractors. As your next chairman, I will lead the charge to do a hiring bonanza. We need to be just like Georgia Power, Commissioner Lucas. When a tree fall on that line, here come the Georgia Power trucks. When a pipe bust, or in this case on Napier Avenue, when I was riding down the street last year, or in 2020 when I campaigned, there it was, a terracotta pipe washed out the road.
Mm.
This is all on my page right now. This infrastructure is dangerously in need of being changed out. And I'm the candidate. I'm going to
Mhm.
lead that charge to focus on infrastructure. Now, this 499 thing, Commissioner, I just want to get to that.
Yeah, the 499
Yes,
stormwater.
yes, yes.
Now, Macon Bibb County was responsible for stormwater repairs. Macon Bibb decided that that was not something that Macon Bibb's government could handle.
Yes, ma'am.
So we outsourced it to the Macon Water Authority because we felt like the Water Authority was better able to put a plan in place
That's
to
correct.
see where the problems were
And we are.
and to go fix it. And y'all have done
The
a
Water
wonderful
Authority is.
job.
That's
We get
correct.
a weekly, monthly report
That's correct.
from your engineers as to what you're doing. Folks, we were having cave-ins.
Yes.
Where you could be riding along Vival Avenue and all of a sudden there's a cave-in.
Westgate, the
Our
manhole
infrastructure is so old.
Yes.
It's so old. The stormwater, some places don't even have
Infrastructure.
Infrastructure.
And that's
in
my
place,
issue,
so
too. Yes.
it could fall in. There are a number of places like downtown. It was so old. It
Yes,
was
ma'am.
100 years old. There were cave-ins.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
could actually walk down underneath the ground,
See?
and there was just free flowing,
Yes, ma'am.
water through there. So it was going to take a lot of money, and so we used some splost money and designated that for stormwater, But in just a few areas, a few neighborhoods, there are millions of
Millions,
dollars of work
millions, millions.
that has to be done in specific
That's
areas. So
correct.
we felt the water authority was the right entity to
A
take
great
care of that.
choice. A great
And I
choice.
think I voted for that,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I think that was the wise decision. We knew that there was going to be a charge to citizens.
Yes, ma'am.
But we knew it was going to be a nominal around $5. It ended up being $4.99
That's correct.
per household. That's been added to your water bill to take care of your storm drainage and make sure that you don't ride along and just fall in the sewer system. But there was another part to that, and that was for churches and businesses.
There we
And
go.
that was
Thank
where the
you.
mess came.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, it wasn't the water board, it was the consulting firm that made that determination that there would be so much money that churches and businesses would have to pay.
And I
So
spoke out. Yes,
where are
ma'am.
you
Where
on
I'm
that?
at is the same way I was, which I can't discuss because we was in executive session.
All right.
But not, let me just say this, as in terms of my consensus of charging the houses of worship stormwater utility fee. I mean, when we think of the benevolence, Commissioner Lucas, that Stewart Chapel AME Church, I can talk about St. Paul, how they moved and built that nice facility. And every time we turn around, you can go out there and get vouchers for your light bill.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what you all do behind the scene to be a blessing to the community. So
Right.
we it's just not right. We can go after the for-profit free enterprise like Chick-fil-A, Kroger's, Walmart, these apartment complexes. There's enough free enterprise in Macon-Bibb County, Commissioner Lucas, where we can get the funds necessary to fix the storm water. But as it relates to the 499,
without imposing these
imposing
huge fees
on the houses
on
of
the
worship. No,
churches.
ma'am.
Yeah.
I will lead
And
the
all churches are not the same size.
Let's
They
talk
don't
about
have the
that.
same
Let's-
number of members
Let's talk
and
about
all
that.
of that. And so what they were assessed on was that area where
That's
you have runoff.
The non-porous of your parking
Right,
lots, the
right.
roof.
That where the water won't
Yes,
sink
ma'am.
in, like
Yes,
your parking
ma'am.
lot and
Yes, ma'am.
all of
That's
that.
correct. And COVID-19 has really hurt a lot of the
Yeah,
houses
a lot
of
of
worship.
people haven't gone back. Yeah, a lot of people aren't
They're
going back
not
inside.
going back
Yeah,
inside the church
yeah.
because you got now this monkey stuff that they're talking about.
Yeah, monkeypox.
That part, and then the giving has gone down. So it is not the authority's job to, I feel, to go out a 501c3 house of worship.
Mhm.
We can, though, however, although we're not a county government in terms of we can charge you property tax or we can tax you, but I have issues with taxing vacant land where people have houses torn down and they're getting still charged for $4.99. Well, there's no structure on the property.
Yeah, yeah.
I have an issue with the fact that out in
So
South
you
Macon,
would work to address
I will
that
work to
and
address
make
that.
sure that
South
something-
Macon, they're out there. They don't have what we have in District 2, curves and catch bases and trunk line. They just have a road and water flows on their property.
Mhm.
But you're not giving them a plan. As their chairman, I will lead the charge to, we won't have these meetings like we did last year out at Porterfield Baptist Church. And the people were right, Commissioner Lewis. We showed up last year and we said, give us 6 months and we're going to do this, do that.
Mhm.
And nothing happened.
Mhm.
It's time to get a chairman that understands topography, construction, and can sit down and with the engineer department and say, okay, let's give them this. Let's start with what we're going to do. You do not have infrastructure, but what we're going to do is start pricing what it costs to get you infrastructure out
Mhm.
there,
Mhm.
put a number to it,
Right.
and then say it's going to take us, citizens of Macon-Bibb County, if we are taking in $12 million a year and we got a $167 million a year budget coming in, we should have this infrastructure fixed in 10 to 15 years.
Mhm.
Now, when we say that, they need to see work being done.
Right.
Well, how can we guarantee they're going to see work being done? We need to hire people. And I, as your chairman, will propose that we joint venture with Central Georgia Technical College. We need Class A operators, Commissioner Lewis, to drive the vac trucks. Right now, we got vac trucks, but
Yeah.
if you don't have the operator that's authorized by DOT to drive it, and train in how to operate it, because you could
Mhm.
kill yourself with that daggum hose now.
Right,
You
right.
We have to do a job bonanza of that. And then plumbing at Central Georgia Technical College. The average person over here in District 2, if you asked him to read a tape measure, he couldn't. She couldn't. And that's important when you're working. Macon Water Authority is for all lack of a better word, a utility company.
Mhm.
We deal in plumbing and pipe installation. We're not like you all. You all are a true political government. You deal in laws, you deal in property taxes, you deal in what we're going to do that's going to benefit the people.
Mhm.
So we don't need another status quo politician like my opponent. You need someone who's actually installed them.
Well,
And that's the
your
charge I'm going to
opponent
lead.
has a lot of conflicts too. I've served with him on the commission,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
we have really gone at it.
Wow. Yeah.
On some stuff. Yeah,
This
yeah.
problem can be fixed.
And they thought they were going to kind of quiet me
No,
down.
ma'am. You from the
It
Dolores
didn't
Brook.
work. We sat side by side, and
That's what I admire about you.
yeah, hey, it was a little bit too much. There are some things that are too important for you to just say, "Well, okay, all right,
Yes.
all
Senator
right."
Lucas said, "Go along, get
can't
along."
can't do it.
No,
I can't
he
do
called
it.
it
I
"Go
can't
along,
do
get
it.
along." That's not me.
I'm a little more low key, and I'm very um, selective,
Yes, ma'am.
more selective in um, the issues
Yes,
that
ma'am.
I deal with. That I'm willing to, as they say, fall on the sword
Yes,
over.
ma'am.
But there are some issues where my people are concerned, and
Well,
my
here's
people are all the folks that I
That's
represent.
right.
That's everybody.
Another fall on the
So
sword issue in using that phrase is we, in the intergovernmental agreement between the Macon Water Authority and Macon-Bibb County, the issue is not identifying the catch bases and the storm water trunk lines, Commissioner Lucas. We've done that. The issue is that when we get a phone call from Mrs. Smith or Dr. whoever that says, "Hey, I got water coming in my home."
mhm.
When we show up and we see that it's coming from because the catch basin is clogged up, that is not the time to say, is it public or private? I will ask the board to join it with me to start the first Macon Water Authority Stormwater Task Force, so that when things like that happen, let us just show up and help.
Yeah.
Then you'll sign a waiver that
citizens
we'll,
would appreciate.
yes.
That,
Then whether we're
people feel
negligent or
like
not,
you just you give them an answer to get rid
just to
of
get
them.
rid of them, here's
And
a sheet
so
of paper.
I like
It's
your
no,
philosophy.
yes, ma'am.
That
It's
you
not,
have a response to people. It's like
Help.
when you have a fire.
yeah, it's called a fire.
The Red Cross and all of them, they show up to help
That's
you
right.
then.
That's right.
Until everything else
It's sorted
insurance
out.
and all that
There
stuff
you go.
kicks in.
There you go.
Now, let me ask you a few questions, because I know, Miss Engineer, how much longer do we have? This time goes, oh my goodness,
Okay.
time goes by so fast. But anyway, will you seek the guidance of former chair Sam Hart? If you're elected to chair, he was chair for a number of years. Will you seek his advice and suggestions on things, since you've not served as chair before?
On my as my record have shown, yes, I stood side by side with Chairman Hart and was a lot of times
That's
the
what I said,
only
he was
one
the only one.
that I
Yeah.
supported Chairman Hart
Yeah.
last year. And I called Chairman Hart on yesterday because I heard the street committee talking about he had a massive heart attack, and I blew his phone
Oh
up
no!
until he got the
straighten
phone.
that out.
Yes, he did
Straighten
not
that
have it,
out.
and
Sam Hart.
Sam
no,
Hart did not
y'all,
have a
'cause
massive
you
heart
know
attack,
how
and I
Oh.
spoke with him personally, and he gave me his blessings and wished me well in this race. And yes, I mean, he pinned me. We're practically related, you know.
Oh,
So
really?
I mean, you know how somewhere
Well,
down
you know
the
how
line.
Macon is
Somewhere
now.
down
You
the-
will be related to somebody.
But
in
I
Macon,
love
so
him.
you have to check everybody's
Chairman Hart,
genealogy.
Chairman Hart's a wise man, and he led with great wisdom, you know.
He did,
And
he
people
did.
don't understand the things that he took just for being a team player.
He
But
was
Desmond
a
Brown just
laid back person.
I'm not
so
from that. I'm
yeah.
not cut from that cloth.
Well, but as chair, as chair,
Yes,
you've got to
ma'am.
be the person who brings the consensus.
Among the
And
board,
whereas
correct.
y'all don't do the actual work, you set the policy and
Yes, ma'am.
approve different things
Yes,
to
ma'am.
take place at the water board. So you still have to have a heart for the people that you represent. You still have to know what's going on
That's right.
too. And the smart person gets them some advisors who let them know the truth
I got you on
about
speed
stuff.
dial. I got Senator Lucas on speed dial. I got Chairman Hart on speed dial.
Well,
You know,
Senator Lucas
that's
certainly will tell you.
he. Oh
Yeah,
man, I love him.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, so
yeah. He's got a heart for
yes,
stuff and will be and is available. He'll be fussing about some call he'll get, and then the next thing I know, he's headed out the door to go see
yes,
about
ma'am.
whatever it is. So he's a good person.
But I will say this,
And
even,
go
not to, if
ahead,
I may interject, but
go ahead.
even the current administration of the Macon Bibb County Commissioners, you all, the mayor, I want to work with you all on this fight on blight, Commissioner Lucas. This is not just your issue. When I joined the Macon Water Authority, we can raise money to help acquire these blighted properties. And why would we do that? Because for every property that's sitting there blighted and not does not have a residence in it, we're not getting water fees, sewer fees, and yes, stormwater fees.
Hmm.
So we need to join in the fight on blight with you all. And I'm
You're
the chairman to lead
absolutely
that
right.
charge.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. And I'd like to see that. And for the time that I have remaining on my term, which is 2.5 years, I would love to work with the Water Authority. We do have two commissioners who serve as
Yes,
members
ma'am.
of the
Appointed. Yes,
Water
ma'am.
Authority. Right now, that's Valerie Wynn and Bill
And Bill Howell.
Howell. And so I can't express enough the importance of being able to pull together people
Absolutely.
and
This is our
get your
community.
votes
That's
together
correct.
and make sure that whatever you do, it's done for the
The
people, for the
people.
benefit of the people,
Yes, ma'am.
not for any particular one person. That is what I fear with your Republican opponent,
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Bechtel, that he's serving on planning and zoning. He's serving on the Land Bank Authority. These are all entities that handle stuff, and it puts him in a conflict situation
Yes, ma'am.
where some decisions made you really are in conflict with your office on the water
Yes, ma'am.
board. And so I think that he offers a tremendous conflict situation. Gary's an okay person. You know, we get along fine. I know that he's a Republican.
Yes, ma'am.
I know from the past the kinds of stands he's taken. He's always voted with the folks who were for, not necessarily for the citizens, but for whatever else was out there as far as money and influence and
That's
stuff were
correct.
concerned. So
Wow.
I'm fearful of more of the same,
Well,
more of old Macon,
yes,
the
ma'am. That
same,
status quo stuff,
the
and
same.
and now now that we're in the runoff, and I saw an article where Gary is now saying he's the true whistleblower, that he's the one that blew the whistle on Romaine
Well,
Dollarman and Sharon Patterson. I'm like, whoa! I thought that was how could
that
you?
doesn't help
That
him
doesn't. Yeah.
though,
Why would you?
for him to say that he was the one that joined in
That's what
the
he said.
plot to now
The
Dr.
May 27th.
Dollarman turned out not to be the person that we thought. We supported him, but he was sound as far as his educational stance, but he just wasn't the right person for the job. But Gary Bechtel is saying that he joined with
He said in the
the
Liz Fabian
others
article, May
whose goal
27th.
it was
He's
to remove a what they saw as a powerful black man from
Yes.
office.
He
So
says, I
see,
am not
that
the
goes
whistleblower. He's the
beyond.
whistleblower. And he's trying to take my tagline. He's, in my opinion, Commissioner Luca, I never seen no platform he had. The mail out he's done. If you look at my ad in the Middle Georgia Foreman, he took all my
He got
stuff and
plenty
just,
of money, which says
well,
something to me.
let me say this part. I know I'm not going to be able to compete with the money he has.
And you don't have
And I
to.
don't
If you
have
go
to.
to the people,
I just need the
Ask
people.
Elaine
That's
audience
correct.
and
And
the other folks.
and I'm gonna go a step further and ask those people that supported Dr. Ellington. I have made
Yes,
up my mind that when I'm elected as chairman, Dr. Ellington would be on my blight committee. It's just asinine to me that he is the
he's a great
executive
person.
director of the
Mhm.
Land Bank Authority, and we're talking about doing something to fight blight, and he's right there in the cookie jar of properties that we need to get with to roll over so that we can help get them developed. So, for all of you that supported Dr. Ellington, I humbly ask for your vote. I believe it was just strategic, that God would have him at the executive director position of the Land Bank Authority, and we can call on him. I
I
see
did
him.
not know he was executive
He
director.
is the executive director. Oh,
He's now,
he's
that's just a recent development, though, isn't it?
Dr. Ellington, according to the Land Bank Authority, he is the executive director. Pull it
Well,
up.
I know he served on there, but
Yes, ma'am.
oh,
And so for me, I'm
well,
like, man, I got a place for him because he is a good person. And I reach out to everyone in Macon and Bibb
right.
County to vote for Desmond Brown. Your water bill literally depends on it.
Yes, your water bill does. And we want to make sure that everybody gets adequate storm drainage repairs
Infrastructure, yes.
done in their area. We don't want it just in those usual areas as
Right.
it is all the time. So I trust you as a Democrat
Yes,
to
ma'am.
get in there, to work with people, to do the job that needs to be done, and make sure that we have um, equal development
Yes,
over
ma'am.
this community. That's what we want.
That's
Nobody
right.
wants anything from anybody else.
That's correct.
What everybody wants is equal development.
That's
If you
correct.
put something over there, put something over
Over here
here
too.
too. If you put something over there, put something over here too. Make sure that everybody benefits, because when it's time to pay, everybody
Right.
has to pay.
Correct.
There is no difference. If I don't get services, I still have to pay.
That's right.
And that is what people are mad about.
Absolutely.
But I'm glad to hear you say too that you would work on developing a plan for lightening this load that's been placed on churches.
Yes, ma'am.
And there are some businesses too that there needs to be a reevaluation of the amount that they were charged. And I
The
believe they're
property
working on that.
owners, according to the stormwater plan, the property owners, if they make improvements, commissioners, like adding retention ponds and things like that, we have credits, or I'm sorry,
Right. There
last year as the board member, I can say we, but now I'm the candidate. But there are credits to assist you with it, and
to reduce your amount
that's
that you
correct.
owe.
And
But you got to go
but
to
you,
the water. You got to have the right person
That's-
there, first of all,
that's correct.
who's going to address that. And then you also got to ask for what can be done to reduce our church's water bill. Because every church's water bill went up, and some of the huge churches can pay it. They just absorb it.
That's correct.
It's just an increase. But very small churches or
Thank you,
big
ma'am.
churches with small memberships
Yes, ma'am.
cannot absorb
That's correct.
that kind of thing.
That's correct.
So Desmond Brown has said that he is going to work on a plan. He's going to work and confer with former chair Sam Hart
That's correct.
on decisions that he's going to make on our behalf. So I don't know what else we could ask for. And there's that music.
All right. This is
There's that
great.
music. This has been wonderful. There you have it. You have our candidate, our Democratic candidate for Water Board Chair, Mr. Desmond Brown. And so I encourage you to support him. The turnout is going to be horrible. We have got to vote. We have got to go. So if you haven't planned to vote, then call us and we'll try and convince you to go vote. Your life and your water, the quality of your water, and other things depend on it, as well as some other very, very important decisions for Secretary of State, Insurance Commissioner. We still got work to do, y'all.
We do.
So get the information from us or from the NAACP, and let's all go vote starting on Monday. And I'll put our number in the chat for you. But please call some folks and remind them that it's time to vote again.
It is.
It's never, never, ever a bad time to vote. It's always good. Thank you, Desmond Brown,
Thank you for
for
having me,
taking
Commissioner.
time to come. And we'll be working on with you on your campaign to try and encourage everybody
Yes.
to get out and vote. So thank you all so much. We will be here again next Wednesday at 3 p.m. for another edition of Ask Elaine. We thank you and we encourage you to let us know how we did today. See
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM.